in this parallelogram, we're going to try and prove that this triangle, ABD, is congruent to this triangle, CDB. Well, we're going to start by stating the things that we know for certain. We know that because this is a parallelogram, that this has to be parallel to this, and that this has to be parallel to this. If I know that that is true, then I can say, to start it off, that the angle created from A to D to B, which is the angle down here, I'll call that X, has to be the same as the angle from C to B to D. C up to B, down to D. I'll call that angle X. Why is that? Because they are alternate angles. They're between two parallel lines, and they're going to make that Z or S shape. What else do I know? I know that angle ABD, A to B to D, let's call this Y, is equal to the angle created going from C to D to B, also because they are alternate angles. And the last thing that I know that BD is shared between the two sides. It has to be equal because it's a shared side length between the two triangles, which means that that's enough information to prove that triangle ABD is equal to triangle CDB. Why? Because I know two angles and the side length between them are the same. I know it's true because of the angle side angle rule. And for example 4, the illustration shown represents the symbol for a communicator in a TV space series. Use the information in the diagram to prove that AD is equal to BC. So we need to prove that this side length is equivalent to this side length. So we're going to start with the first statement that we can make. We're going to say that AC is equal to BD. Because it says this is 3 centimeters, this is 3 centimeters. Then we're going to state that CD is equal to DC. because they're both the same side. Or I can call it shared side length. I also know that the angle A to C to D, so the angle going from A to C to D here, this angle, is going to equal the angle of B to D to C. Because if I take a look at it in here, those angles are going to match up. They're both going to equal, if I call this x degrees, because it is an isosceles triangle in here, they're both going to be equivalent to 180 minus x degrees. I also know that AD is going to equal BC because they are corresponding sides of congruent triangles using the side angle side rule. If this angle is the same as this angle, then this triangle and this triangle are going to be the same.